Good morning everybody. I am Pratima, working as physics lecturer in Government PU College, Brahmawar. Today we are going to study about the thermodynamics. What do you mean by thermodynamics? It is a branch of physics which deals with the concept of heat and temperature. You are already studied in previous chapter what do you mean by heat and what do you mean by temperature. What do you mean by heat? It is a form of energy that transforms from one body to another body due to the difference in temperature. And what do you mean by temperature? It is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. Now, before going to study about the different laws in thermodynamics, let us know about the few definitions of the sum of the terms that is usually used in this chapter. In that, let us know what do we mean by thermodynamic system. So, thermodynamic system means it is a specific quantity of matter bounded in real or imaginary. Thermodynamic system means it is a specific quantity of matter bounded either in real or imaginary. That means we can consider about 1 mole of gas in a container. That is we are studied about it, say it is thermodynamic system. And besides this thermodynamic system is called surroundings. And the thermodynamic system and now we consider martevappa. So we are taken in a cylinder, so 1 mole of a gas. So adu naave nirteve thermodynamic system. Ee thermodynamic system bittu uldirodu ella enide that we are called it as surroundings. Next consider thermodynamic variables. Here, this thermodynamic system is described in terms of its temperature, pressure, volume, internal energy, entropy. All these are called thermodynamic variables or thermodynamic coordinates. ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು thermodynamic system represent ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅದರ ಏನಾಗ್ಬೋದು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಎಂಟ್ರೋಪಿ, ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಥರ್ಮೋಡೈನಮಿಕ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಥರ್ಮೋಡೈನಮಿಕ್ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ thermodynamic equilibrium. So if you consider a system is in thermodynamic equilibrium if it is in the state of chemical, mechanical or thermal equilibrium. ಸೊ ನಾವೊಂದು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಥರ್ಮೋಡೈನಮಿಕ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಅದು ಆ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸೊ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್, ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್, ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಮ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium. So next consider what do we mean by thermal equilibrium. So we are saying a system is in thermal equilibrium if temperature of all parts of the system is same, then we are saying the system is in thermal equilibrium. And already ಹೇಳಿದೆ, consider a system means here it is a specific quantity of matter. If you consider this is a system, that means we are taken here let 1 mole of gas. If this 1 mole of gas throughout this 1 mole of gas, temperature is same throughout this system, then we are saying the system is in thermal equilibrium. Next, consider zeroth law of thermodynamics. Here, zeroth law of thermodynamics says, if two systems separately in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then those two systems are in thermal equilibrium with each other. I will write here definition. See a statement of the zeroth law of thermodynamics. If two systems separately in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then those two systems are in thermal equilibrium with each other. Let us consider here, I will consider two systems. Let this system be E and let this system will be system B. Let A and B represents two systems. Let here temperature of this system A will be T suffix A and let temperature of the system B T suffix B. Now, I will insert a thermometer I will insert a third system C inside a system A. Now, what happens? This thermometer will measure some temperature. Let will be T suffix C. If next insert this thermometer to the system B, if it measures the same temperature, then we are saying these two systems are in thermal equilibrium with each other. Here see, let T suffix A be the temperature of the system A and let initially T suffix B represents the temperature of the system B. Now, you are insert a third system or you are contact with a third system, that is we are saying a thermometer C. If it measures the some temperature, that will be T suffix C. If you measure this temperature, thermometer measure the same temperature in the system B, then those two systems are thermal equilibrium with each other. That is, if TA is equal to Tc and T suffix B is equal to Tc, that implies T suffix A is equal to T suffix B. That means, if T suffix A is equal to T suffix B. That means, if two systems separately in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then those two systems are thermal equilibrium with each other. If you consider the significance of zeroth law of thermodynamics it defines the temperature. You know that one concept. That means, if the two systems, if the temperature are same, then the system is in thermal equilibrium. That means, zeroth law of thermodynamics defines temperature. Next here, heat, internal energy, work. You are already studied, you know what do you mean by heat and what do you mean by work. Now here we have to specify about internal energy. Let us recall. Temperature means what? It is a degree of hotness or coldness. That means heat flows from a higher temperature body to a lower temperature body until temperature equalizes. That means what here? Temperature means here degree of hotness or coldness. That means if heat flows when temperature equalizes means the system is in thermal equilibrium. Next consider here internal energy. You know a bulk of matter consists of number of molecules. Here internal energy represents the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy of the molecules. Internal energy describes the sum of internal kinetic energy and potential energy of the molecules. That means internal energy, we can say internal energy is a state of a particle and it does not depend upon the path taken. So, internal energy means it is a state of a system. It does not depend upon the path. Or in shortly, we can say heat and work. Heat and work are the transfer of energy that changes in the internal energy of a system. So, heat and work are the transfer of energy that changes the internal energy of a system. Next consider first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics statement, the heat energy given to a system is equal to sum of increase in internal energy and the external work done by the system. The heat energy given to a system is equal to sum of increase in internal energy and the external work done by the system. I will write the statement. here first law of thermodynamics says the heat energy given to a system is equal to sum of increase in internal energy and the external work done by the system. Let delta Q represent heat absorbed by the system. Let delta U represent increase in internal energy. Let delta W represent external work done by the system. Then according to the first law of thermodynamics, delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. It is the mathematical form of first law of thermodynamics. Delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. That means heat energy absorbed by a system is equal to sum of increase in internal energy and the external work done by the system. We can write in another way also. See here, delta Q minus delta U is equal to delta W. We can write in this form also. Here, the first law of thermodynamics is nothing but conservation of energy. First law of thermodynamics is nothing but conservation of energy. Consider 1 mole of gas in a perfectly non-conducting vase and bottom. It is fitted with a non-conducting frictionless movable piston of area of cross section A. Let the piston is compressed suddenly. That means we are compressed it adiabatically. So here let delta W be work done on the gas in moving the piston. What happens when you move the piston downwards or when you compress, what happens? Its pressure increases and its volume decreases. So here a small amount of work is done. No. Let dW represents here work done on the gas in moving the piston. So delta X be small displacement of the piston and delta V let decrease in volume. Let delta P represents increase in pressure. See what is the amount of work done when you compress the piston. Work done you know in mechanics. Work done means what? Force into displacement. So delta W, that is work done, is equal to force into what is the amount of displacement here? Dx is the displacement. But we know force means what? Pressure into area. Force is pressure into area. So here delta W is equal to what is force? Pressure into area. So P into A into dx. But we know area into dx, that means A into dx is equal to increase in volume, that we denote in delta V. So delta W is equal to P into delta V, where delta W represents here small amount of work done is equal to P. P means pressure and delta V. Delta V represents here increase in volume. So delta W work done is equal to P into delta V. Pressure, delta V represents here increase in volume, small amount of increase in volume. Here I will write delta W is equal to P into delta V. specific heat capacity that you have studied in previous chapter. What do you mean by specific heat capacity? What do you mean by molar specific heat capacity? All those things. Let us just recall. What do you mean by specific heat capacity? If you consider 1 mole of a gas, let delta Q be the heat supplied. When you heat supply, its temperature changes from T to delta T. That means we can say T plus delta T. Automatically, you know, when you supply the heat, its temperature increases. Then specific heat capacity, its symbol will be S. S is given by delta Q divided by delta T. So, S is equal to delta Q by delta T. S represents a specific heat capacity. For gases, we can define two specific heats. One is specific heat of a gas at constant pressure and another one specific heat of a gas at constant volume. That means we are saying it is Cp, specific heat of a gas at constant volume, another one Cv, specific heat of a gas at constant volume. For an ideal gas, we can write Cp minus Cv is equal to R. For an ideal gas, we can write the relation Cp minus Cv is equal to R, where Cp is molar specific heat at constant pressure. Cv represents molar specific heat at constant volume. R represents gas constant. So, Cp means here molar specific heat at constant pressure, Cv represents here molar specific heat at constant volume, R represents here gas constant. Let us derive this relation. For consider 1 mole of a gas. So, we can first law of thermodynamics, we know the relation. So, what is that first law of thermodynamics? Heat energy supplied to a system is equal to increase in internal energy and the external work done by the system. So, here delta Q is equal to delta U plus, you know the relation between work done, pressure and changes in volume. Delta W is equal to P into delta V. Using this relation, that means using first law of thermodynamics, we can get the relation between Cp, Cv and R. Here, you are already told taken 1 mole of a ideal gas. Now, let delta Q be the heat supplied at constant volume. What happens if you heat the gas at constant volume? I will let delta Q be heat supplied at constant volume. Then what happens here? Delta V becomes 0. So, here C suffix V, that means heating the gas at constant volume, that is nothing but Cv. I already told molar specific heat at constant volume. that is equal to delta Q by delta T is equal to delta U by delta T at constant volume. Here we can drop the subscript V. That means we can drop the subscript V means what? Volume. Because for an ideal gas, internal energy that depends upon, you know what do you mean by U here? U means what here? Internal energy. That internal energy depends only on the temperature. That's why we can write here simply delta U divided by delta T. Similarly, if you heat the gas at constant pressure, if you heat the gas at constant pressure, what happens here? Cp. Cp means molar specific heat at constant pressure. Then here, see here, delta Q by delta T at constant pressure is equal to delta U by delta T at constant pressure plus P into delta V by delta T at constant pressure. For 1 mole of an ideal gas, for 1 mole of an ideal gas, PV is equal to RT. So, for 1 mole of an ideal gas, PV is equal to RT. So, this implies we can write P into delta V divided by delta T of P is equal to R. So, call this as equation number 3. Here see, in equation number 2, Cp is equal to delta U by delta T P plus P into delta V divided by delta T P. Here in the first term, this subscript P we can drop. I already told that is internal energy of an ideal gas is depends only on the its temperature. So, here also we can drop P. See here equation number 1, 2 and 3. Cv is equal to delta U by delta T and Cp is delta U by delta T plus P into delta V by delta T of P. So, equation number 3, P into delta V by delta T of P is equal to R. These three relations describe Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Here see, Cp minus Cv is equal to R. See here, delta U by delta T. Here delta U by delta T cancelled out. P into delta V divided by delta T of P is equal to R. That is Cp minus Cv is equal to R. This is the relation between molar specific heat of a gas at constant pressure and molar specific heat of a gas at constant volume and universal gas constant for an ideal gas. Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Thermodynamic process. When we say there is thermodynamic process or thermodynamic process occurs if there is changes in thermodynamic variables. So, thermodynamic variables means here thermodynamic system describes in terms of entropy or volume, temperature, pressure or internal energy. If there is any changes in these variables, we can say there is a thermodynamic process. Here, let's consider what do you mean by isothermal process. What do you mean by isobaric process? What do you mean by isochoric process? And what do you mean by adiabatic process? So, isothermal process means if in a process, if the temperature is constant, then that is called a isothermal process. If it in a thermodynamic system, if in that process, if pressure is constant, that is called a isobaric process. And isochoric process means if it is in a process, if volume is constant, then that process is called a isochoric process. If you consider adiabatic process, there is no exchange of heat between system and the surroundings. We can let us summarize. So, in isothermal process, temperature is constant, and in isobaric process, pressure is constant, and in isochoric process, volume is constant. And if you consider isobaric process, there is no exchange of heat between system and surroundings. Let us consider one by one. That means, next let us derive what is the expression for work done in isothermal process and what is the expression for work done in adiabatic process. So, you know what do you mean by isothermal process? You have studied already. So, isothermal process means in which it is a process in which temperature is constant. So, here for an isothermal process, if T is fixed means temperature is constant, then the ideal gas equations PV is equal to constant. This is the equation of in case of isothermal process, PV is equal to constant, where P is the pressure, V is the volume. That means here P is inversely proportional to volume. This is nothing but here Boyle's law, P is inversely proportional to volume. Next, consider the expression for work done in the case of isothermal process. Here, suppose an ideal gas goes isothermally from its initial state, that the gas, if you consider 1 mole of gas, let us say its initial pressure will be P1 and let its volume will be V1. Let P2 V2, P2 represents here final pressure and V2 represents here final volume. At any intermediate stage with pressure P and volume changes from V to V plus delta V, then we know delta W is equal to P into delta V. You already know about this one, delta W is equal to P into delta V, where delta represents here small amount of work done, P represents here pressure, delta V represents here small changes in volume. Here taking delta V tends to 0 and summing the quantity delta W over the entire process, then W is equal to integration of V1 to V2 P dV. That means what here? This is nothing but here this one. See, work done is equal to integration of V1 to V2 P dV. For an ideal gas, we know PV is equal to RT, or for 1 mole of gas we can write PV is equal to RT, where P is the pressure, V is the volume, R is the gas constant, T is the temperature. From this we can write P is equal to RT divided by V. Here, if we need, call this as equation number 1. So, equation number 1 implies W is equal to V1 to V2 P. P means here RT divided by V into dV. Here, since R and T are constant, R means gas constant, is temperature constant, we can write RT, since these two are constant, V1 to V2 1 by V dV. Here now we have to integrate this term 1 by V into dV. Here V1 is lower limit and V2 is upper limit. So, W is equal to R into T. What is the integration of 1 by V into dV? It is log to the base E into V. Upper limit V2, lower limit V1. So, W is equal to RT, integration of 1 by V dV is log to the base E into V, upper limit V2, lower limit V1. Next step, now we have to apply the upper limit and lower limit. So, this we can write W is equal to RT into log to the base E, first apply upper limit V2 minus, next apply the lower limit log to the base E V1, or W is equal to RT into log to the base E of V2 by V1. This is the expression for work done in the case of isothermal process. W is equal to RT into log to the base E V2 by V1.